Notes of Truth with Julie Carrick. Here on Morning Joy, where truth matters.
Welcome back to Morning Joy, where truth matters. I'm your host, Keith Downey, and this morning we're blessed with Julie once again, and she's going to be exploring the beauty of music in the midst of ordinary time. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning. You know, it's been an interesting morning listening to the different topics, the news of the day, what Debbie and Adam are sharing. And I feel like this is a little breath right now, like just this little breath to say everything that we're hearing is so important to realize that, you know, we are called to step up as Catholics. We have been given so much. We've been given everything. And the beauty of what we have, the incredible, I mean, there's not a word big enough to describe the hugeness of the gift that we receive when we go to Mass, in that we receive Jesus Christ, body, blood, soul, and divinity in the Eucharist. And as I said last week, you know, kind of coming into this part of ordinary time, how can we call it ordinary when we receive him, right? And the beauty that we get to experience when we have received him and take him into our world, it has to change us. And if it doesn't change us, then we are just taking for granted this phenomenal gift. And what I have found in these last couple of years where I've been able to have this privilege, and I say that word very deliberately, privilege, of being part-time on staff in a parish to assist with the music, is that music is such a powerful tool of the Holy Spirit that in this, the emotion that God has given us as human beings, that emotion can either connect us deeper to him, or those emotions can run rampant sometimes and be a division. As Debbie and Adam were saying, you know, as Catholic, we are called to speak and to live and to be in the truth, and yet there's division. In this ordinary time, look at what we're facing in our world right now. I mean, we are facing so many decisions in our country, in the way that we are interacting as Americans with the world around us. And we have been given this gift of grace to live the truth. But we have to live the truth, not live what Julie wants, not live what Keith wants, not live what, you know, we have to live the truth that God has given us, and we cannot water it down. And so my focus this weekend in particular, as we head into the sacredness of the liturgy, is finding a way to rejoice in the midst of such turmoil in our world. Now that we've come back into ordinary time, we don't have the warm fuzzies of Christmas. You know, ordinary time outside of Easter, you know, we've got that kind of euphoric sense of Easter, and then we go back into ordinary time, or we have Lent and then Easter and then ordinary time. So again, this ordinary time, which is the bulk of our year, really needs to lead us into a sense of rejoicing. It needs to lead us into a sense of true praise of God. And if we can't do that every day in some form, then we are not really connecting to him. We're not. I mean, we have to be able to wake up every single morning. And in fact, and I know I've said this before, it bears repeating, because the very first thing that my husband and I say, literally, when the alarm goes off, is Psalm 118, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad." And if we can begin our day with a sense of rejoicing and seeking that which is good, seeking that which is honorable to God, and allows us to truly live this faith that we have been given such a gift in, that's going to make the difference in our world. When we can wake up, rejoice in the Lord. And rejoicing is not a sense of just a euphoric sense of, you know, yeehaw. It's rejoicing is truly living within the truth and finding a contentment that leads us to a higher sense of adoration of God. And so this weekend, in my home parish, we're looking at those beautiful antiphons which have led us to begin. And the entrance antiphon that we're going to have this weekend, "Oh, come, let us worship God and bow low before the God who made us, for he is the Lord our God." I'm going to repeat that. "Oh, come, let us worship God and bow low before the God who made us, right? We bow before God. We don't tell God what to do. I mean, so many times we have it reversed. There are, and I'm not going to mention the names of some of these groups, but one of my pet peeves when I was a member of the Gospel Music Association was the lyric of some of the songs that were literally telling God what to do. God, you do this, then I'll do this. God, I will praise you. Like, if you do something, then I'm going to praise you. No, the sense is he is God and we bow down before him, understanding that when we bow before the Lord our Maker, giving him the honor, glory, and everything that is due him, we have now put ourselves in the right position and disposition to be able to say, God, as your being, as your creation, I want to serve you. I want to honor you. I want to love you. And that is what it truly means to praise. Praise is not just lifting our hands and, swaying back and forth to a good melody and a good beat. Praising God is acknowledging that he is due our praise. And our praise is not just lip service. It's not just in the music. It's in our actions as well. And when we come to the communion antiphon this weekend, let them thank the Lord for his mercy, his wonders for the children of men, for he satisfies the thirsty soul, and the hungry he fills with good things. The beauty in these antiphons, which then lead us to, there's a beautiful song that we're going to be singing this weekend, and it's from a Catholic recording artist, Josh Blakesley, and it's his song, We Come to You. We come to the Lord hungry and broken. We come to the Lord in this sense of need, but knowing that once we have been filled by his physical presence, our praise becomes a part of who we are as we have received him and we walk out the doors of the church so that we can face the things in our world. I think of the people in the Middle East. I think of the people, in Gaza. Wow. Like, wouldn't that be an amazing thing to be able to have legit, long lasting peace? I think of South Phoenix, south of where I live here in the Valley. Wouldn't it be amazing if this were a place of peace where nobody was hungry, where nobody was without? As much as we need to look globally, there's that little phrase, look globally, but act local. We start in our homes, we start in our neighborhoods, we start in our cities, our states, and we ripple out to the world. But if we don't get it right here first, how are we going to make that difference in the world? And this phrase, again with the antiphon, let us thank the Lord for his mercy, his wonders for the children of men, for he satisfies the thirsty soul, and the hungry he fills with good things. How many of us have more than what we need? And if we can look at these antiphons, they're not just nice words that we hear at Mass, they are a call to action. When we have what we need, we can allow that to pour over into those who go without. How does he fill the hungry with good things? Besides the fullness of who he is in that Eucharistic embrace, he can use us to fill the needs of those who are hungry. And one of the things that the Catholic Church, and I will say this boldly and proudly, and I will shout it from the mountaintops, one of the things that the Catholic Church is most active in our world and has been forever is the corporal works of mercy. And so when we are at Mass and we hear the beauty of these antiphons and we sing the beauty of these antiphons, it allows a change in us, that the praise not only requires but gives us that sense of action. And so the second communion hymn that we're singing along with that focus is, "Oh God, you search me. Oh God, you search me and you know me. You know everything about me, and you have provided all that I have, Lord, so that what I have, I can take into the world around me. You search me and you know me. All my thoughts, Lord God, are open to your gaze. When I walk or lay down, you are before me, ever the maker and keeper of my days." right? That little line from that old song is so pertinent for today, because as we give that sense of praise and that call to action comes out of it, our world can be transformed. So the more that we find ourselves living true Catholicism, and I mean true Catholicism, the Catholic Church was the first organization, if you will, that began schools. It was the first organization that began hospitals, the first organization that feeds the hungry, and it hasn't stopped. So as much as we look to the organization that we have within our church, we realize with every single one of us, that organization is made up. And so we can't just put the money in the basket as it comes by at Mass. It calls us to action. And I'll keep going back to it. We cannot just praise with our songs. The songs and the way that we enter into the beauty of the Eucharistic celebration should light the fire under us, so that as we walk out the doors of the church, the praise becomes the living action. And so this weekend, I just really encourage everybody, while you are at Mass, to listen again intently. We are in ordinary time, but this ordinary time is a time to call us to extraordinary action. Not just extraordinary praise, but extraordinary action. And seeing what's going on in our world around us right now, there is no shortage of ways for us to get involved. And so I hope that our praise moves us to purpose. Maybe that's a song I should write. That praise would move us to purpose. Just when I thought I was going to have coffee after the show today, I may have to sit down and get to work.
That's so wonderful. My goodness, I know I'm pumped. I'm sure everybody else out there is as well. But thank you so much, Julie. And a couple things. We can catch you tomorrow on We Sing Our Faith, 9 a.m. Central on the Guadalupe Radio Network. If you're also wanting to see more of Julie, you can also go to juliecarrick.com. Thanks again, Julie. And that is the end of our first hour of Morning Joy. Now, if you are unable to stay with us for the remainder hour of Morning Joy, where truth matters, that's okay. We've got you covered, of course. You can just always go to the YouTube channel or the Rumble channel. You can search Morning Joy Radio or GRN Online, as that's who produces this wonderful production. You get to join us every single weekday here, 6 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Eastern. But if this is us truly parting ways, God bless. Make it a joyful weekend. But if you're hanging around, hey, just know we're going to be tackling one of the most controversial headlines this week so far. President Trump's proposal to take over Gaza and resettle its Palestinian population. We're going to examine this from the Catholic perspective on our weekly news roundup. So stay tuned. We'll be right back here on Morning Joy, where truth matters.
This has been Morning Joy, where truth matters, hosted by Keith Downey. Take some joy with you today. Visit grnonline.com/joy to listen again, share a segment, or answer the question of the day. That's grnonline.com/joy.